Hello students, my name is Mr. Ruschenberg, and today we will be going over area and perimeter. The topic is use the area and perimeter formulas to solve real-world problems. This relates to the Iowa Core Math Standard with apply the area and perimeter formulas for rectangles in real-world and mathematical problems. For example, find the width of a rectangular room given the area of the flooring and the length by viewing the area formula as a multiplication equation with an unknown factor. The goal for today's lesson is for you to be able to say at the end, I can apply the formula for area and perimeter of a rectangle to solve real-world problems. Finally, the purpose of today's lesson? Each student will be able to correctly apply the formula of area and perimeter to real-world problems. This will include finding the total area, perimeter, and missing sides. Time to move on to today's lesson. Let's begin by reviewing the definition of area. Area is defined to be the size of a surface or the amount of space inside of the boundary. Moving on, the formula for area is A, which stands for area, equals L, which stands for length, times W, which stands for width. At the bottom of the page, I have drawn a small example with a rectangle. The 6 on the side of the rectangle stands for the length. The 7 at the bottom stands for the width. And the 42 stands for the area. I found this by multiplying 6 inches by 7 inches to get 42 inches, or length times width. Also, always make sure that your answer in area is inches squared. Moving on to perimeter, perimeter is defined to be the distance around a shape. The formula is P equals L plus W plus L plus W, where P stands for perimeter and the L's stand for length and the W's stand for width. Again, I have drawn a small rectangle at the bottom to show an example. Here, both of the 5s are your width, the 8s are the length of the rectangle, and after adding all 4 numbers up, you get a total perimeter of 26 inches. Here, the answer is not inches squared, unlike area. Moving on to our first problem. Mr. James has a bulletin board he would like to put a border around. The bulletin board is 5 feet tall and 6 feet wide. How many feet of border would Mr. James need to go around the bulletin board? What size of paper would Mr. James need if we were to cover the board with a piece of paper? First, let's label the bulletin board on the bottom of the page. 5 feet tall and 6 feet wide. On the next page, we will go through the first part of the problem, and then we will cover the last part of the problem. The first part of this problem we will cover is the perimeter part. In this question, the part relating to perimeter is, how many feet of border would Mr. James need to go around the bulletin board? Here, the bulletin board has been labeled with the information we already know. Let's draw in what else we know. So, if the bulletin board is 6 feet wide on top, we know that it is 6 feet wide on the bottom. Also, we know that if it is 5 feet tall, we know it is 5 feet tall on the other side. So, now we have all of our factors to be added up into the equation. We can now go straight to adding. P equals length of 5 plus width of 6 plus length of 5 plus width of 6. After adding those up, we get a total of 22 feet. The final part of this problem is finding the area of the bulletin board. Again, The area formula is defined to be area equals length times width. And we have a length of 5 feet and a width of 6 feet. So we can now multiply A for area equals length of 5 times a width of 6. So after multiplying 5 times 6, you get 30 feet. Remember, your answer in area has to be squared. Here is the last problem we will cover. You are painting a wall in your bedroom. The area of the wall is 96 feet squared. The wall is 8 feet in length. What is the width of the wall? Well, as I stated earlier, we would be covering unknown factor problems. This is one of those problems. As you can see, we have the length of 8 feet and the total area of 96 feet squared, so the factor we are missing is the width. So, to get that, we can just plug the information we already know into the area formula. So, 96 feet equals a length of 8 times W, since we don't know what the width is. Then, to move on, you divide 96 by 8 and get 12 equals W. To finish, you say W, the width, equals 12 feet. In conclusion, today we covered area and perimeter with real-world story problems. We also covered problems where you were given the area or perimeter and had to find the lengths of the other sides.